Hello. So there's a new old school RuneScape DevBlog called Bounty Hunter. Mods are using this to find out what we like about Bounty Hunter, get as much feedback as they can about Bounty Hunter, and then see if they can develop a type of Bounty Hunter that we'll enjoy. So, Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter was a huge part of RuneScape for many years. Many of today's PKers have fond memories of taking out their targets and would love to be able to relive those good times. The minigame itself is one that drew people towards the wilderness and kept them there, which is something that any PKer, old or new, can appreciate. Players have been asking for the re-release of Bounty Hunter for some time now, and they want to make it happen. But first, they've got a number of questions regarding Bounty Hunter that they need to ask us to ensure it ends up being exactly how the players want it to be. So first of all, they want to know, what did we enjoy about Bounty Hunter? While they've had a lot of feedback from players suggesting that Bounty Hunter is something that a large amount of people will be interested in, they don't have much of an insight about what it is about Bounty Hunter people found appealing. If they can pinpoint exactly what made Bounty Hunter enjoyable for players, then they can help find the best way of implementing it into old school. They want to find a way to add Bounty Hunter to the game without disrupting any of the existing content. So the potential impact of Bounty Hunter. One of the more significant concerns about Bounty Hunter is the impact it would have on the existing PvP environments and how it will be implemented with this in mind. Players already have two dangerous player killing areas to choose from, PvP worlds and the wilderness. If Bounty Hunter were to be released, they would not want to negatively impact this PKing community. One possibility may be to add some Bounty Hunter mechanics to PvP worlds and the wilderness in a way that doesn't impact your ability to use the areas you currently do, but would open it up to players that want a similar system to that of Bounty Hunter. However, if an entirely separate minigame is what the players truly want, then it is, of course, a possibility as well. This brings the debate between the two previous existing versions of Bounty Hunter, Craters versus Worlds. Many old school players have been discussing which of the two they prefer and which would be better to suit old school. If you're unfamiliar with the Bounty Hunter Worlds or the Bounty Hunter Craters, here is a quick overview. Bounty Hunter Craters were the home to the original version of Bounty Hunter, released in December 2007 alongside the removal of free trade and PvP in the wilderness. A large crater in the centre of the wilderness is where it all took place. Players entered the crater through one of the three entrances which were separated by combat level, and were assigned a random player in the crater as their target. An arrow would point players in the direction of their target, making it easier to find them. A spell to teleport you directly to the player was also available for players to use. Players were free to kill whoever they wanted within the crater and would receive the items they had as a drop. However, if they killed players that were not their target, they would receive a 3-minute penalty, during which they were unable to leave the crater to safely bank their loot. Worlds. In 2009, Bounty Hunter Worlds replaced the Bounty Hunter Crater. Instead of being restricted to the crater and the combat level sections within it, the entire wilderness became a Bounty Hunter area on designated worlds. Unlike Bounty Hunter Craters, the player you receive as a target would also get you as a target. The spell allowing players to teleport to their target was removed, but the arrow pointing towards your target remained. Bounty Hunter Craters gave the player a lot more freedom and allowed players to enjoy the wilderness during their target hunting adventures. So, how should the old school team add it to the game? Having Bounty Hunter as a completely separate entity to the existing PvP areas would, as previously mentioned, run the risk of negatively impacting the existing PKing community. It would, however, allow for drastically different rules and mechanics to be used without forcing such changes upon players in other areas of the game. If they were to somehow implement the mechanics of Bounty Hunter into the wilderness or PvP worlds, it could act as a new reason for people to visit the PvP areas. Quite the opposite of what might be expected from Bounty Hunter as a separate minigame. They would want to make sure that people that had no desire to participate in the Bounty Hunter activity would be free to continue their PKing as usual. Right now, nothing is set in stone. They have the past incarnations of the minigame to look back on and learn from, as well as an experienced community that will help shape Bounty Hunter to fit old school. We need as much feedback as possible from you in order to make sure that Bounty Hunter will be something to push old school in a positive direction. So please make sure you let them know exactly what Bounty Hunter was that you loved and how you would like to see it fit into the future of the game. So that's Bounty Hunter. Personally, I never really did Bounty Hunter. I've never been much of a PKer. But my thoughts on Bounty Hunter in old school? I wouldn't really like them to add it as they have in the past. The one way I can see it being added into old school without it impacting the PvP community much, is if they made some bounty hunter only worlds. Now these worlds could be PvP worlds or just normal wilderness worlds, but in the area that you can use PvP in, you'll be assigned a target and you can kill them. Now a lot of people want bounty hunter for the fact that in around 2009, when you killed your opponent, they dropped a statuette, and that statuette was worth a lot of money. Now in previous live streams, the old school team say they do not want this, that'll bring too much money into the game, and a lot of players agree with that. So regardless of if you want bounty hunter in the game or not, please go on the DevBlog, give some feedback to the old school team, and hopefully we can see what's happening with bounty hunter. I hope you like this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. I've been Lewis. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.